Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Auto Club Speedway for the 29th race in the 2018 NRSL Mountain Dew for the Win Cup Series season. It's time to eliminate 4 drivers, and for I believe the first time all year, I have been gifted with somebody else standing next to me in the booth. Give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, Dillon Young.
Oh, I appreciate that. I shouldn't go that far, but you know what? I'll take the honor for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. But it's good to be here in the booth. I'm happy. Ready for some good racing here at Auto Club. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Dillon, Andrew Rich won at Pikes Peak to start the chase, locked himself into the second round, and then the next week at Papyrus, he finished 4th. He was in the running to win the race. It would have been his 7th win on the season and would have given him another 5 playoff points to start the second round. How worried are these drivers to know that Rich is going 110% every race, no matter if he's locked in or not?
Well, he's a good driver. I'll tell you what. One of the times I've seen him race, and I got to talk to him when I just started out, he's basically one of the faces that runs this series, and he's going to be a dangerous force this season. So it's going to come to show you that he's going to be a person not to be messed with, and he will want to get that championship and fight hard. So we'll see how that Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey car will do.
Looking at the rest of the points coming in, Alex Gray is all but locked in, having a 45-point gap over TJ Hanley, who sits 13th in the point standings. Zoerlein 37 above, Deaver 33, Gardner 25, Seth Cole and Flickinger both 22. And then we get to these guys right here. These are the ones we're going to be watching most of the day. They're really close on points here. Curtis 13 above, Yepes 9. Deanna Jones 6 has had 2 bad races after winning 4 races in the regular season. Jackson 5 above, and Hagan 3 above. And then, as we said, Hanley 3 back of Hagan. Brock is 5 back, Osborne 13 back, and Austin Alves is the big one who has a lot of work cut out for him. You can see him right there in the 16 in this frame. He is 25 points back, starting in 11th place. So big things to go. We're going to go through the starting top 10, and then we'll look at the rest of the chasers. So Nico Tringali is on pole for, I believe, the second or third time on the season. And actually, it's for the first time this season. I'm looking at the right line. Yes, it is. It's for the first time this season for Nico Tringali, so I thought he had been on the pole before. Next to him is Alex Gray. We talked about it. Gray is all but locked in on points. The max you can gain in a race is 49. In row 2 is Jonathan Zoerlein, one of the drivers who was pretty inconsistent, even though he won 3 races in the regular season. He's been all but that the first 2 races in the chase, so Zoerlein looking to maybe get another top 5. Next to him is DJ Curtis. We talked about him being one of the guys barely in on the bubble. In row 3 is Charles Jackson, one of the faces currently also in the top 12, just barely. Next to him is Jessica Shelton. In row 4 is Cole Deaver and Alex Ferranti. And in row 5 is Matthew McIntyre and Andrew Rich. Deaver himself also pretty good on points, 33 above. As now we'll look at the rest of the chasers. In 14th is Joshua Osborne. 17th, Seth Cole. 19th, Johnny Gardner. 27th is Deanna Jones. 33rd, TJ Hanley. 38th is Diego Yepes. 39th, Cody Hagan. 41st, Zach Flickinger. And 42nd is William Brock. Now, the 8 of Cody Hagan has been starting in the back pretty much every race. 42nd at Pikes Peak and 42nd at Papyrus.
All right, well, the fun doesn't start until we ask our drivers a question. Are you ready? Drivers, will you please start your engine?
As there was the command right there. Like the front row for right now, the time being, everyone's all rolling on us. That's a good sign right there for those drivers.
And when we talk about car failures, we saw it happen last week. Nate Rogers was minding his own business, running along. He was behind the car. They came around to the front stretch, and pow! Something broke in that 83 Audi Red Bull, and Black Smoke, he tried his best to get to the bottom, but he made the move down at a bad point, and we saw Mark Riggleman and Austin Alves get involved. It was a huge crash. Surprisingly, only those 3 were involved in the wreck. But that has certainly hurt Austin Alves as he's 25 back. Now, Dylan, what's your knowledge on Auto Club? You know, what are we going to expect to see here today that maybe we didn't see in the spring?
Well, we'll probably see a lot of wide competitive racing, at least see 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide. The field will definitely spread out as the track will go into play. So keep an eye for some competitive racing. The pit stops, if we stay green and get green flag pit stops, those will definitely be a factor as well. I bet you all 42 drivers, though, they're just ready for a good-ass race, though.
Indeed, pace car is going to drop down. Tringali will lead him to the start-finish line for the first time on the season. Alex Gray second. And there's the green flag, and we are racing here at Auto Club. And there it is already. Shelton and Ferranti both move up to the outside. And Zoerlein's going to make a move for the lead into turn 1.
That just shows you with Auto Club, you can use any part of the track, and it don't really matter whether if you're making the pass or getting past. It just shows you these cars will not afraid to use any portion of the track.
You see already 3 wide pretty much all the way through the field behind these leaders. Tringali's going to be able to hold off Zoerlein off of 2. As now Gray and Zoerlein run side by side. And Tringali will get to lead lap number 1.
So with him leading lap number 1, that's going to be a big lap right there. But I guarantee those drivers in the bottom of the chase points, they're going to do what they can to lead a lap to get those bonus points at least. Try to do at least get something.
As we see Zoerlein already making a move to the inside, and there's Curtis. Curtis is the one more in danger. And he is not quite 3 wide just yet. Gray falling behind.
He can't do it. The 84 is looking like he's trying to fight through the high lines, trying to hold on to that top position, but that 5 is not giving up without a fight, though. He's showing that he really can do something. And again, the Red Bull car going to lead them down. Nico Tringali right there.
And I remember now that back to the spring, that bottom line was good on entry, but coming off the corner, the high line would prevail. And we're seeing it again here today. Tough to make passes at Auto Club, but the great side-by-side racing for the fans as Jessica Shelton will pull out.
Yeah, Shelton just did a crossover move. Is trying to go for the top 5 right there. And try to get it. The 11's going to fight back and get that 5th position for now at least.
Yes, and we've seen here that making drastic moves, as Tringali barely leads the lap, making drastic moves seems to shred a lot of speed down the bumpy back straightaway. It's so bumpy back there. But
I thought Curtis was going to go 3 wide right there off the front stretch, but he tucked back in line with the 5, and you could see still that the top 2, they're still mainly side by side. No one's been really getting an advantage right there, and they're just trying to push that car ahead of what they're going to do. And now looks like the 84 will clear the 5, so you can see the outside lines getting more momentum than the inside line coming through the track.
And Alex Gray now is going to be fighting for second place with Zoerlein. Jackson and Deaver right behind them. We've got 5 chase drivers right up here. All of them were above the bubble coming in, so really everyone doing what they need to do right now. Nico Tringali is just out here trying to get a win.
But the whole question goes, who really wants it more is the key question. You can see some drivers that are in the bottom of the chase field trying to get up there. I've seen drivers like Josh Osborne's trying to work his way up, but he's gained a couple spots. Ironically enough, a couple drivers that are in this chase are also in the chase for the Universal Orlando Cup Series and that NRSL Series. So, they have that, competition. They know that they're in that position to be out there and race hard to try to make sure they're going to go out and represent not only just for the team but for themselves, battle for this championship in the long run.
And now Jackson has made his way into 3rd. Zoerlein now starting to fall back. We have seen drivers make the bottom line work. In fact, it was a pass to the bottom by this man right here that won him the race in the spring. Fitzwater made a move to the bottom. Look at Osborne ducking down mid-corner. Wow, what an aggressive move.
I thought that was false for a second. I'm like, oh. Were they?
What?
I'm getting confused between 70 and the 27. Yikes.
The 70 is Joshua Osborne, and the 27 is James Qualls over here in the Mountain Dew Series.
Oh, wow, that's tough there.
But Fitzwater made the move to the bottom. We know that this track doesn't does produce a good amount of tire wear, as we're only 7 laps in. You see Fitzwater already in the top right with 3/10 of fall off. So depending when you pit, if you have the fresher tires, you can definitely make that bottom line work.
Well, you just seen right there, the 70 actually went the inside of the 43 and got that position. And now he's trying to go underneath the 95, it looks like, that next team car. For the position, the battle for the lead now coming into fruition. Alex Gray to the inside of the 84. And it looks like when you notice in the early run, the outside line was getting more of the momentum. However, as the racing is now starting to get ensuing and all, the inside line is now starting to show that it's going to be superior. So this is really going to be a matter of who's really going to be powerful. Oh, and I spoke too soon. Look at the 5 car working with the 84, and now the 5 sees that's an opportunity to get that second position and to clear the 3 there.
Yeah, Tringali, it looked like Gray might have got a little looser, a little tight. He had to really check up mid-corner, and that allowed Tringali to get back. We see they're very even through 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, it seems that the top clearly has the advantage. And Andrew Rich has made his way to the bottom now.
I'm seeing that 70 starting to work his way into that top 10. That's Osborne right there. He is charging. Look at him go.
Yeah, we'll hear it again. You know, they get to 3 and 4, and the bottom line is just all for nothing. As Zoerlein's going to clear Gray off of turn 4.
Yeah, you can tell there's no grip at all on that inside line. They're really trying, but it's just no momentum at all. You want to try to do is you want to try to use the inside in 1 and 2, and you have to. You got to swing up to that high line. You got to really use the car and fight through. And if you don't swing that high line, you're basically going to free fall back.
And right now, I think most of these drivers on the bottom are just trying to get all they can. They want to survive to the pit stops. Pitting first could get them a good amount of time gained. Pitting later might fall back in the field, but they will be able to make those passes on the bottom if they pit in the second or third final group. We've seen back in the spring race that we had, I believe, 2 groups on the first stop, and that increased to 3, and then it increased to 4, and then we had the caution flag. So definitely interesting to see.
We got a battle for the lead ensuing again. I just seen the 88 car trying to get up into that position there of Alex Ferranti.
And there it is, and Jackson's going to make it 3 wide. This is for second place, actually. And Jackson, almost to the apron he goes.
Ferranti really pushed him there, and you know what? That allowed the 5 to just take that second position right back. And I thought for a minute Ferranti was going to get up that front, but, man, they're just really now chilling. To say no one's really been able to get that 84. Whatever the 84 is doing, he's just been doing one hell of a job. Give credit to Tringali, though.
Look at Curtis, though, all the way up the track right there in the 1 and 2.
Yeah, DJ Curtis, that's another driver who's in both of the chases, keep in mind. That's funny about it, too. You got Osborne, you got Curtis, and I believe, Johnny Gardner are in both chases for the NRSL series that are around. And, you know, that's got to be pressure. You're not just bound for 1 championship up for 2. It really adds on the pressure, and you're doing different tracks. But it's good to see some of those guys that are able to really get these runs that they need. They're trying to really hope that they can get this good run. Otherwise, they're going to be not bound for that championship once we go into the next round there.
As Ferranti making a move on his teammate, Zoerlein is confirmed to return to the 5 in 2019. Ferranti will be moving to the 48 as Hendricks sold the rights of the 88 to Go Fast Petty Enterprises as that team transitions from Ford to Chevy for 2019.
And Ferranti really trying to use that inside line right there. Wow, you can see he really checked up halfway in the turn 3 and 4. That allowed the 17 just to use the high line to make the pass right there. That just shows you how the inside in 3 and 4's got nothing right there. Curtis the 3rd.
Zoerlein's going to make a move again on Tringali in the 1, and it continues to show that while turns 3 and 4 are clearly high line dominant, turns 1 and 2 are still very even for the 2 lines.
You see the 5 got the advantage. I almost forgot to mention, too, this is Zoerlein's home track right here because he is a California native right here, and he would really love to get a win right here. That would be huge.
Zoerlein won back at Infineon in the summer, so definitely would be cool for him to get 2 of the 3 California wins.
He's just about cleared the 84, but I guarantee you, coming to the line, this is going to be a tight battle.
He led that lap.
He will lead the lap.
That's the first lap. A Chaser has led all day.
And not only just that, I think he's going to get that lead right here if he can get a good run. Oh, he's not clear, but that outside line is getting some draft. The 5's got no draft at all.
He's got no draft. He's just about there. Curtis is going to move to help the 5, but is he going to make it 3 wide instead?
I think he may go 3 wide. I don't know.
He thought about it. And now I guess Tringali must have worn his tires out, because now we're in the part of the run where 3 and 4, the lines are even. So very interesting to see that 3 and 4, the whole track was pretty even at the start. Oh, now we're 3 wide for second, maybe almost for second. Tringali's going to be at the top, and Zoerlein will get the lead clear.
That's a big break for Zoerlein right there. That was definitely big for that 5 team. I guarantee you, he has got to be happy about it, because I think if you look correctly where he is in that chase points here, on our thing here, I think, where was he? Yeah, he was in the chase. Zoerlein is like the 3rd highest driver of the chase, 2nd of the highest not confirmed there. So you can tell, even though he would love to win this race, this would still mean a big deal and 5 extra bonus points heading into the next round.
Just checking through the standings here. TJ Hanley is 40th, and that is not what he needs at all, being 3 points out. Also seeing William Brock down there. He's also out coming in. Yepes 36th. Hagen 33rd. See what else as we move on up. Seth Cole is 25th. Flickinger 23rd. Deanna Jones is 22nd. Alves is 20th. Johnny Gardner 18th.
I just seen Tringali got put 3 wide right there in position. And that 84 has been losing spots right now, barely in the top 5, but he's under fire for that position. It looks like that's the 31 and the 43 of Fitzwater Sr. trying to go underneath, but now 31 goes in front of the 43.
And perhaps, Dylan, as we approach our first green flag pit stops, perhaps the 84 burned up his tires in that first 15, 16 laps, and now we're seeing it's just not working. As let's look at this 3 wide right here with Alex Gray, Fitzwater, and Osborne. You can see that turns 3 and 4, the top side does no longer has the clear advantage. It's very even, and now it's just a matter of where the draft is when you come off the corner, because these guys are 2/10 off, or 2 seconds off through the corners.
You have a valid point when you mention it, and I'll tell you what do you do if you're Nico Tringali when you come down pit road? What type of pit stop do you do? Do you do a small pit stop so we can get back out as the leader? Or do you do some service to where you're going to really try to get the car even better as it was before? Do you take that risk, or do you just go with that simple 4-tire 2-can pit stop?
As you see, Chaser top 3, Zoerlein, Jackson, Curtis, Ferranti, the lone wolf in 4th place, the best rookie in the field, but Chase rookie Cole Deaver sits in 6th, and other Chase rookie Joshua Osborne sits in 10th.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Deaver and Osborne, they're doing really, really good. These are drivers that really need some good runs there. Otherwise, they are not going to make that championship battle. But you make a point with these pit stops. These will definitely play a factor, especially into the Chasers there. It's basically their chance to where they can either go up in the standings and go to the next round, or they're going to fall out of it and lose out in that next round battle right there. So they cannot afford any mistakes on pit road today. Otherwise, it's going to be all she wrote for them.
And when we got to the chase, there was 3 different stages. We looked in the first part of the season. Andrew Rich definitely looked like the clear favorite with 3 wins in the first 8 races. We also had Johnny Gardner and Seth Cole, who looked really strong and consistent. Gardner, only with 2 wins on the season, is still considered one of the main favorites. Now, Deanna Jones was considered the 2nd favorite at the top, but with her 2 poor races this year, I mean, in the first 2 races of the playoffs, the only thing that's kept her in right now is her 20 bonus playoff points, or 25 bonus playoff points, as she got the 5 bonus for winning the All-Star race. Otherwise, she would be one of the...
Oh, cars coming down pit road. Here we go. First set of green flag pit stops. I didn't mean to cut you off, Zach, but I just seen drivers heading down pit road right now.
And Jackson tried to make the pass on Zoerlein, as I was kind of stumbling anyways. Did Jackson complete that pass? No.
He's almost. And he knows, too, before the pit stops, the top 4 were really running away from 5th line back. They really made a gap because 5th place. They're just battling. Now they're single file. And here we go. They're coming down. The
Are they all coming down? Are they all coming down? The answer is yes. Here they all come.
Man, that's going to be a problem for most. Oh.
Everybody's coming down. No, wait. We've got somebody staying out. I believe that's Emmanuel Hartnett and Kev Shearer.
Wow.
And this is what I was talking about. This is the strategy where, in the middle of the run, that 3 and 4 will be highline dominant, but if these two get on the bottom, there will be no stopping them. Let's take a quick look, see who pit first. We've got Mark Riggleman, Alex Gray, there's Dillon Young himself, Johnny Gardner, James Qualls, Zach Rogers, Hagan, Deanna Jones, and Yepes Amato, and that's it for those. So a good amount of chasers that are gonna try and gain some track position here.
And yep, there they are coming down pit road. And I was surprised with Osborne and Qualls how they did not pit together. That's an interesting thing right there, because you would think some teammates would actually come down pit road together and try to work some strategy off. But then again, they could have different strategies, so that's something to look at.
And it appears Zoerlein will lead Curtis, Jackson, and Ferranti off pit road. We're going to take a quick step aside, and we'll be back when the field has completed its cycle of pit stops. We're back, and we've got a new race leader, DJ Curtis, in the 17 car.
Yeah, we noticed too some drivers really took the early strategy there, like the 26 there, Mark Riggleman, who's in that 4th position right now, trying to hold on to that spot from Charles Jackson. Dillon Young in the 2. Ferranti, you see him lost a couple of spots. And I also noticed the 32 is up into the 8th position. He has been absolutely silent all day toward the extreme rear of the field of Johnny Gardner, and he is doing one hell of a job today. Give credit to some of these guys. They took some good strategy.
And Gardner has not won a race since Pocono back in the early stages of summer, so electing the pit on the first group, he did finish 4th here in the spring, so Gardner perhaps with the right strategy could be looking at another good finish. But one big thing to look at right now is this. We saw these drivers pit on laps 21, 22, and 23, I believe. Now this is an 88 lap race. Now if they go those amounts again, the guys that pit on lap 21 coming to 22 will probably not be able to make it on 2 more pit stops. However, the other 2 groups, which the 3rd group was only Hartnett and Shearer, those guys look like they might be able to go on 2 more stops if they can go the same amount they went from here at the start.
I guarantee you when it does come to that last stop, though, they'll fill up the tank especially. But it may come down to who's going to really play that fuel strategy and conserve and save gas, which these drivers, it could happen, could not happen. And wow, I just noticed the 2 just flew right by the 11. Holy cow. Try not to be biased here, but damn.
And there he goes, completes the pass for 5th. Just want to check the F2. Nobody. Oh, Jessica Shelton was in the top 10, and she has lost a ton of track position. Also, defending champ Caleb Hoffman, not in the playoffs this year, is now last.
And Kev Shearer fell all the way outside of the top 30. That pit stop being late did not really help out that. I'm sorry, I thought it was the 30. I'm getting mixed up with my numbers here. The Shearer fell all the way back to 27th last time scored, and Hartnett, from where we're gathered, is a little bit ahead. Not too far up, but just enough, though, in 21st. So you can tell the strategy really is not bad, but it's not like they're up in the front battling for the win. So it's one of those interesting strategies. So I'm curious to know when the next stop comes around how both of those drivers are going to be, not only if they stay together on pit road, but if they're going to really go on out and take advantage of everyone else's pit stop strategy.
It is definitely an interesting strategy to be the last ones to pit, especially depending where you are on the racetrack. Now, Hartnett, as we can see, was 6.2 seconds back last time. Now, back all the way at the beginning of the season, the 2nd race of the year at Atlanta, Deanna Jones was, I believe, 2.5, 3 seconds behind Johnny Gardner with around 15 to go. And in 5 laps, she cut the distance down and passed him for the lead. And she was, I believe, a lap or 2 on the fresher tires. And Auto Club does produce a good amount of wear, so we'll see if Hartnett can make the right moves. He might be able to get closer to the top 10 as Peter Sands here finished 5th in the spring race, as on the 18 to go restart, he had 3 or 4 lap fresher tires than pretty much everybody else.
And I just noticed one car that's a little bit farther ahead that really has been free falling ever since losing the lead. That's the 84 right there. Holy cow, Nico Tringali. I don't know what happened ever since losing the lead, but that 84 car has just been falling backwards. And now under fire for position. That's the one car trying to go underneath there.
That is the one of James Shelley, one of the few drivers with 2 wins from 2017 who has not won at all this year. Him and Michael Amato, I believe, are the only 2 left in that grouping. Actually, no, wait, Charles Jackson also falls under that category.
And you can see right now the outside line, for the time being, is basically going at it, being the superior line. But I think if you notice, too, we went 11 laps. The outside line was getting its momentum. And then after 11 laps, the outside line began to deteriorate, and all the other cars started to go on that inside line, passing cars left and right. And we're getting to that point where we are getting toward that lap limit after the pit stops.
Yeah, basically what it seems to do, Dylan, is that these tires will gradually fall off every lap. It'll be slow, like maybe a 10th or 2 slower every lap. But once they get around the lap 17 to 18 on the run, it starts falling 2-3 tenths a lap. And it does that for about 3 laps before it stabilizes right there for the last 2 to 3 laps on the run. And that's when we'll see guys like the 20 of Hartnett start catching up and eating away at the guys in front of them.
And you can see the 20 already working on the 12 of the field right there. So not bad right there. And wow, TJ Henley all the way in the rear of the field in 39th. Last score right there is the 47 car. Definitely not a good run for TJ Henley. He's got to hope that the pit stops come on by. They got to work on some strategy. Otherwise, it's game over for him.
And Seth Cole is also in poor position right now. He's up to 34th. However, he only has 22 points, so if he's not careful, he could fall out of the picture. However, Hanley is back here. Austin Alves also back here, only a few spots ahead of him. So, not too much to be worried about. However, Cole Deaver, we've just found out now, is down here 31st. Same with Osborne in 30th. Those 2 were in the top 10 before pit stops, and they've fallen back.
Too. Yeah, I'm surprised. They really fell back quite a ways, and that's not good for the 70 or the 31. Both drivers were looking for good runs, trying to make sure they could secure their spot in the chase. That does not look good for them too.
And it's even worse.
Go back up to go ahead.
It's even worse for Osborne, considering he is 13 points behind Cody Hagan. Alves 25, it's even worse for him. So with Hanley, Osborne, and Alves all the way back here, Seth Cole running in 34th isn't even really a big concern right now. And the only other one we have that's outside is Brock, and Brock isn't even doing that great. He's 27th. And Andrew Rich has actually fallen back. He was near the top 10, so good amount of cars right here, though, battling for position.
Yeah, but if I were Rich, I probably wouldn't worry too much there. It's basically making sure you keep your car away from crashing, and also at the same time making sure that at least you can finish the race out in one piece and get ready for the next round. That's what I would do.
It really doesn't. Yeah, it's right. It really doesn't matter what happens to Rich here because he already won Pikes Peak. He's got no worries.
But at the same time, you can still want to get that momentum heading into the next round there. So at the same time, you never know what can happen. Wow, the top 4 really rolling away from 5th place on back. Holy cow, they were running away with at least 2.5 seconds nearly from the field. Actually, now 2.5 seconds from 5th place.
It's just Curtis, Gray, Jackson, and Zoerlein up here. Gray came really close to a win last week at Papyrus, but he got outdone by the 9 of John Nunn.
And that 3 car is really hungry. I'll tell you what, he's in that top 4. He's been in the top 5 pretty much all race long. That's probably one of the strongest cars here in today's race.
We'll see. They're definitely getting close to the next round of pit stops. We're probably about 5 to 7 laps away, but let's take a look at this backfield. Here's Gardner moving his way up to 6th. And look at this, Deanna Jones, Cody Hagan. They're right here.
Yeah, they're just hanging around that top 10 area. They're just a little bit off right there Wow, they're nearly 4 wide to enter right there. The 95 thought about it. They tuck back in line. Smart move right there. But we're seeing a lot of 3x3 in just that short little back row, and at least 2 rows that they're doing. They're going pretty good. Now they're selling back out to double wide there.
And I am surprised that Hagan and Jones have been able to keep up as they have, because these two pit in the first group. So I'm very surprised that they have been able to hang on this well.
Well, I'm curious to know what plans of the guys who are first coming down pit road, who's going to come on in, and who may actually try to stay out and play some different strategy. You may see some different drivers go for different strategies here. So I'm actually curious to see how that's going to turn out for just anyone, whoever was in the first, second, or even in the third group.
I'll definitely be psyched to see. Gardner sitting behind, just watching the back of the 88.
I just noticed too. Aren't they? Oh no, never mind. I thought they were catching up to slower traffic, but I'm just seeing stuff there, and that's amazing for Gardner, flying up to the top 10 right there. Young fell out of that. Holy cow, he slid back.
And Gardner staring at the back of a number that'll be owned by his team in 2019. Ferranti will transition to the 48 as Arndt transitions to a new number for Hendrick, that being the 05. Gardner and his
It's going to be interesting to see what Arndt will do, though, because Arndt has been a very well-known racer in that Texas native there. And the 05 and him, it's just been a great combo. And, you know, I've seen John race. He just knows how to handle the cars well. And for a minute, I thought they were going to come down pit road and slow it down, but they're going to keep going at least for another couple laps.
And Arndt, with his lone win at Talladega last fall, has only had a few good finishes this year, and he's at the back again today.
Yeah, definitely not a good day for him right there. I'll tell you what, though, even though the top 4 have been running away from fifth line back, you can see Gardner still trying to do what he can to get around Alex Ferranti. He is really trying to put pressure on that 88 Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet there.
And it's interesting again to say that Gardner's team will be switching to the SS for 2019, and along with that, they've elected to switch up their number lineup completely. Gardner will be driving the 7, Fitzwater will drive the 59, and Quentin Moore will return and will move from the 34 to the 89. Other numbers confirmed is the 88 of a new driver, rookie Rob Evans, and the 38 machine will remain with the team. That is actually the only number that will not change, and that car will be open and to unsure who will fill that ride. And Zoerlein has made it up to second place, and he is, holy crap, he is catching DJ Gerdes right now.
You know, we're definitely getting really closer and closer to that pit window. There's a battle for third right there that you can see. Between the 3 and 11, they're side by side, Jackson and Gray. But I think Gray's going to hold on for now in that Lucas Chevrolet. But Jackson really in that Toyota trying to fight with that inside line. If you notice, Jackson and Curtis are the only representatives of that manufacturer. The good thing for Gray, well, he's got his manufacturer, and here we go.
Second round of pit stops. Alex Gray. Is anyone ahead of him pitting?
11's staying out. I think the 3 car is the only one down.
Johnny Gardner will come down too. Mark Riggleman. A couple of others.
It's the entire first set. It's the entire first set of cars that went on
I
down.
believe it's actually a couple less. I did not see everyone come down. So not as many came down the first time around as they did the first cycle of pit stops. We'll see this Curtis and Zoerlein.
I just realized we are at the halfway point of the race too.
And that should mean that these drivers might all be able to make it on this stop and one more. Curtis will stay out.
Wow, I think he faked the opportunity. He slowed down, and Zoerlein thought he was coming down with him, and a bunch of drivers staying out.
Zoerlein and Jackson will be the top chasers coming down pit road. I believe I saw Cody Hagan too. Yep, Hagan's down. Yep. Deanna Jones is down. Diego Yepes.
12, Tringali.
No other chasers there, so we'll go back to Curtis. So we might definitely see this 3-group cycle from the first stop expand to a 4 group. It all depends what
Yeah,
happens
here he
here with
comes.
Curtis. He's coming this
Yeah, he's definitely
time.
slowing down. He's coming down. I was going to say, if he stays out again, I'm curious to see what the heck the 17's got up his sleeve. But Curtis made the indication. Franti's coming down. I don't see one driver staying out.
There it
Oh, the
is.
20.
There's Hartnett and Shearer.
And
And
look
great.
who's also with them.
Alex Gray has
That's
already
amazing.
made his pit stop and come out with the leaders. And I believe a couple others stayed out too. Yes, Joshua Osborne stayed out, as did William Brock.
And look at the 3 actually got around. Shearer
Look
in
how
the third
fast
place.
Alex Gray is
Wow.
going. Look at how much of a difference these fresh tires do. Fresh drivers.
Yeah, they're fresh, all right. They're freaky fresh. But I'm actually curious, though. Hart's kind of stuck on the high line right now. He's trying to get down pit road. And, yeah, he just swung the car down. You can see that right there.
Hartnett's coming down this time by Shearer.
And Shearer as well.
Shearer's actually going to gain some time. Hartnett already dipped down to the apron.
And they're the other 2 cars that stayed out with him.
That's everybody. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back here at Auto Club. This is not the battle for the lead, but this is a battle nonetheless, as we are back here at Auto Club on lap 49 of 88, as Alex Gray leads the race for the first time all day.
Yeah, Alex Gray, you can tell he's had a great car, just hasn't been having enough for the lead. It's been a lot of Jonathan Zoerlein, DJ Curtis, and now Gray trying to show he is definitely going to be the driver to keep an eye on.
Oh, but Zoerlein and Jackson just cut about 2/10 off the lead, and they've been racing side by side. Gray pit the first out of everybody, so those those tires got him a little space, but now it doesn't mean anything when the run's about 23 laps long.
You can tell they're trying to do what they can, but it's just a matter of time.
Let's see, Zoerlein drops down to about 168 and 3 and 4 that time by, as he continues with Charles Jackson. They are just closing in. There's no one else. No one else is up here now. Curtis fell back from staying out a little too long. But you can see that the drivers behind these top 3 are also on fresher rubber, and they are also slowly closing the gap.
You can tell, too, they're just trying to do what they can at this point, and it's only going to be a matter of time.
So we'll go back, see Hagen 4th, Gardner 5th. Rosen 6th, there's Curtis 7th. Best lap of the race for Curtis last time by.
Doing a hell of a job right there.
James Quall sitting in 8th. Pretty good run for the Pensacola winner from last year. Deanna Jones sitting in 9th, and Mark Riggleman sits in 10th, as we see Flickinger and McIntyre battling for 11th. McIntyre goes a little wide, though, so he's going to give that position up for Ronti back in 13th. Yepes 14th. Fitzwater, your winner from the spring, in 15th. Last week's winner, John Nunn, 16th. Goldberg, 17th. Parker, 18th. Sands, 19th. And Kev Shearer rounds out the top 20.
You can tell some of these drivers that are quite in the rear of the field, they're definitely the ones to keep an eye on if we have different strategies here. Shearer and Hartnett, especially, if these drivers come down pit road and those 2 stay out, I will not be surprised. But you notice 2 others that did that as well, the 70 of Osborne and the 21, that's a chaser, keep in mind, of William Brock. You know, they had different strategies. They're like in the rear of the field, and William Brock's still struggling trying to get around some cars right now.
Yeah, but he's got the freshest tires on the racetrack, and you can see if he goes side by side with Nate Rogers here in 3 and 4, I think he's gonna get him. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, look at that fresh rubber. It's just no contest right there, Dylan. No contest at all. Look at that run off turn 4.
But I think the main question everyone wants to know is how far do you go on that track to where you make that pit stop? How much do you have to milk the tank to where eventually you'll get the freshest tires and then you're just going to blow right by the field? And how much time will you have left?
And that's the biggest thing to wonder is do these guys want to short pit on this last run to where they can make it? Like, say there's 21 to go. Do you want to pit then, or do you want to wait until there's 18 to go? Because the big thing will be is that no one's making it to the end from here. Do you pit? Like, this is the last run where you're going to gain a lot of time with the freshest rubber. Do you go the full run, or do you go a little shorter, pit for some more fresh tires, and go from there. As you see, Brock will most likely pass John Arndt here into turn 1, and that'll be for, I believe, 24th place. Yep.
Yeah, it's dependent on how that will go. It depends on how much you really want to fight to get that opportunity. So.
Oh wow, Nate Rogers was making a move, and Moore was making a move at the same time. He basically got blocked. We're going to go back to the front. We didn't notice it, but Jonathan Zoerlein has passed Alex Gray for the lead, and Charles Jackson could be right behind him. Gray led that lap, and with considering where the drivers are who are currently on the cutoff, I think he's pretty much guaranteed to make it to round 2.
Yeah, they're fighting real hard for that opportunity, but the main question is, how's it going to work out, though? We'll see what happens, though.
As quick heads up, pretty interesting thing. Back on lap 49, lap 50, Cody Hagan in the 8 was 4 seconds back, and now he's 2.7. So this could get interesting here before the final pit stop of the day. But before we get more into this race, it's time to go over the second round races. As Auto Club has been the first race since Daytona to be a track hosting 2 races on the season. And let me tell you what, the whole second rounds are repeats from earlier this year. Richmond, Atlanta, and Talladega, all with their second races on the schedule. Followed by Texas, which also will be holding its second race on the schedule. That is Texas. That's the first race of round 3. Rockingham, race 2. And Pensacola, race 3 in the round of 3. And then Homestead to finish things off. But Auto Club on to Texas. It's a bunch of tracks that we've already been to this season, Dylan. What are these drivers in the chase preparing for to know, like such as Deanna Jones, who won Atlanta earlier, and Gardner, who came up just short?
Well, those drivers are preparing for pretty much anything that'll happen, you know. The tracks always play a different factor of who's really going to come out on top and who's really going to struggle in the case. So I can tell those drivers, no matter what type of track that'll be, it's going to be interesting regardless, and everyone's going to be enjoying quite the battle for the fans and all that. So we'll see what happens, though. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And let me tell you what, I just realized this. I just remembered this. I am shocked. Cody Hagan started 39th today, and he's in 4th. And to go back to that, Deanna Jones started in, let me get to it, 27th, and she is also in the top 10.
Yeah, that car is flying out there. Like, I mean, that car is flying. Both of them have done a terrific job. The pit stops has been not only superior today, but they have just been using every bit of the track to go up through the track. And how about Zach Flickinger? That's a track we have not even talked about.
This is another one, too. He's in 9th place, and he started 41st. So guys that started in the back, they pit early the first stop, and then they've done a good job at holding on to that ground.
They have done a terrific job, both of those guys. They've done unbelievable out there.
And Curtis, I'm surprised. You know, Curtis has 1 lap fresher tires than Gardner and Hagan. And he has not really made up any ground. He came out 4th, got passed by the 8 and the 32, and he's just been holding down the 6. So, but we've got to remember that at the end of the run, like this, for instance, these next 5 laps is when we'll really see the drivers ahead of them. Their tires are going to start to chunk up, and we might see Curtis make a move towards the front. And here, yeah, look at here it is right now. He's making the inside to Gardner. Oh, can't quite do it.
Yeah, they're really fighting, though. I'll tell you that.
And they're continuing the gain, though. Hagan is flying up here. Jackson running the fastest lap out of the top 3. On the inside of Alex Gray once more. So we haven't done this yet today, but let's go to the 8. And let's ride on board a lap around Auto Club. See all the way down to 157 miles an hour. Comes off of turn 4 already at 180. closing up to 199 at the start-finish line. 207 into turn 1. Look at how much brake and lifting goes into this, Dillon.
Yeah, Hagen is kind of also really cutting the time down from third place on up, so you can tell Hagen is definitely going to be a work to keep an eye on right now.
Jackson's still trying to get by Alex Gray. He just can't do it. He's got one lap fresher tires and he just can't do it.
Yeah, they're fighting hard, just not enough right now.
Hagen continuing to close up, but we've got probably a couple of laps left, and these drivers are going to start bailing down for pit road. We know that they can make it 23 laps on a tank, but I don't think you want to go 23 laps on a tank in the last run. But the big man to watch will be Alex Gray. Once he pits, we'll see others follow.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a matter of time. It really will be.
As Dillon Young has fallen way back. I have no idea what happened to the 2 car, but he is way off base.
Yeah, bad pit stops and really everything going wrong with that 2-team here. It's just not gone well at all for him at all.
Gray manages. Gray manages to hold off Jackson. Hagen again continuing to close up as DJ Curtis has moved into 5th, and Zach Flickinger is right here in 6th. Flickinger perhaps on the same tire strategy as the 17, and he's going to make a move for 5th. Holy crap. 78 has been shot out of a cannon here at the end of this run.
He's coming.
See, lap 65. No one down pit road as they've all caught up here. This top 10, they're all right here, single file. Actually, I think somebody pit, because I believe they were all tied it up. Did somebody pit and we failed to notice? Yes, Johnny Gardner had come down pit road. So Gardner pitting before anybody else, and James Qualls also down with them. So Johnny Gardner pit before anybody else did. I'm surprised. Cody Hagen, Jackson, Gray, they're all coming down. Did Zoerlein come down too? Yep. And that'll give the lead back to Curtis. Deanna Jones will come down as well. So this big group right here are the guys that we're probably going to be watching for this win. And there's a caution out.
Oh,
just
caution.
like in the spring, during the pit stops, a caution has fallen. And Curtis has taken it. Oh, and Andrew Rich, Tony Green, Trigali, Shelton, Oskin's involved.
Oh, man, that's a big...
Oh, man, that is the disaster for Johnny Gardner, as these guys are still racing back.
That's a bunch of people.
These drivers are still racing back. I have a bad feeling that we're going to see a lot of drivers stuck a lap down.
Oh, for a minute, I thought they're coming down pit road. They better get out now. They better get out. But what a lucky break for Zach Flickinger out of all the drivers right there. That's a huge, huge break.
And
some drivers did beat him out.
Everybody that went down pit road, the only one that beat him out was Dillon Young, and he is already... Yes, Zoerlein is a lap down. This is going to really shake up this race.
Wow, that's...
Oh my gosh.
That's gotta be a WTF moment right there. And I guarantee you, I don't even think the leaders expected the caution to come out.
And apparently Dillon Young did not make it to the start-finish line before the caution came out, so he will have to get behind Curtis and Flickinger.
Now you see the 17 and 78 go on down below, and they're going to get ready to do their pit stop. If you look carefully, too, we are about ready to head into 20 laps to go when we cross the line this time by. So that is an interesting thing when the caution came out. That's a huge turnaround right there.
And how about William Brock?
Oh.
Started last. Made the decision to stay out as long as possible, along with the 70 of Joshua Osborne. Those two, if this race had gone green, those two would not, I do not think they would have made the chase. But now things have opened up with this caution and the fact that about half the field is a lap down. But we're going to step aside while these drivers take their pit stops. We'll see what exactly brought out the caution. Here it is, going into turn 3. It looks like John Arndt might have been trying to pit. He cuts down right in front of Tony Green, and that just snapped them both around, and you can see Oskin nowhere to go.
Oh, he made it through the 48, just not with the 4. Wow.
Clobbers right into the back.
Free.
Right into the back of Tony
Yeah.
Green, who is the first car to make contact here. The caution's already out. Does anybody hit the 48?
Pole, I think. But man, you could have seen the 22.
Oh, here it is. Here it is right here.
Oh, Tringali.
Tringali hits first. There's Andrew Rich hard.
And then
Austin Alves might have got into it
too. Was all good to go. And Jessica
Shelton pile drives the 48 as well.
And then there's the leaders
that was
right
it.
there. Wow.
That was it. Caleb Hoffman, I think, barely squeaked his way through here.
And the one you got to feel bad the most out of all the drivers definitely has to be Tringali. That is something that he had a good car at the beginning of the race. Unfortunately, just that was it.
And we're going to go on board with one or two of these guys. Riding on board with John Arndt. Let's see what happened in the eyes of the 48. And there it is right there. He had made the motion to pit, and there was a car down there. Oh, man. Insult to injury. Right there, was trying to get it back going and just didn't have the time. Now riding on board with Caleb Hoffman. Let's see how the defending champion got through this one. Oh man, the hole just opened right up. Let's get you back to the restart. We're back at Auto Club, and oh boy, Oskin, Rich, Shelton, Tringali, and Arndt done for the day. Dillon Young leading the field to the restart, even though he's a lap down. We've got Zoerlein, Jones, Gardner, Riggleman, Hagan, Jackson, Qualls, Gray, Yepes, Nunn, Parker, and Eli Bright on the tail end of the lead lap as Curtis will lead them to this restart.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of those drivers right there. Those are drivers also that were in that bubble trying to make sure they get into the next round. And I mean, it's just, oh my goodness, that's pressure building right there.
This is completely shaking up the field. I mean, lucky for Gray and Zoerlein, they led laps earlier and they were at the top of the guys on points coming in. But this could be big trouble for Deanna Jones, Cody Hagan, and some others, but they are really spread out right here on the restart. We'll see what happens. This could be an interesting race to the end, as all these drivers here that are on the lead lap stayed out.
And the other thing too, if you also notice, I think that with that pit stop right there, everyone that just stood there, that may have been the money stop right there, the last pit stop of the day, because you look at how much is left to go. I don't think anyone else will come down pit road unless if it's that time where it's within the last few laps. I mean, who knows?
And I mean, I kind of misworded it, but everyone who is on the lead lap pit under the caution, so they've all got the same tires. It's down to skill now, as we see Flickinger was on the bottom 3 wide, and it didn't really work out, so Curtis putting some guys a lap down officially, as everyone in front of them is probably looking for another yellow, but I don't think we'll see it, considering the circumstances of the only yellow flag all day.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, those drivers are hoping and praying for the yellow. Even the 6th car you just seen was just about ready to be lapped down by the 17. I just don't think it's going to happen. That caution came out, was an unfortunate freak accident, just an absolute random moment. So, and it's not like these drivers are racing absolutely crazy. They're racing competitive, but they're not like they're racing where they're about to kill each other. That's just the problem.
And like we said, Gray and Zoerlein are probably the safest out of all of them. Gardner had 25 points coming in. I think he's going to be a little shaky there. He's at the back of this field, but Yepes is back there, I believe. Let's see. We'll go to the ticker.
Wow. That was a risky move on the 9. I didn't mean to cut you off, but remember, the 78's on the lead lap, the 9 isn't, and he just cut off the driver who was running 2nd place right there. That was a little oh boy moment right there.
And Charles Jackson's back there, and he only had 5 points coming in. Hagan's 27th. He only had 3.
Wow. Look at this. Battle for the lead. Here comes the 78 and Flickinger. The 17 went real wide, and Flickinger trying to take advantage.
Oh, and Curtis is going to go all the way from the wall to the inside of these two right here.
Wow, he did a crossover move right there. He's trying to put James Quall's lap down, but Quall's literally shut the door on him.
Yeah, he had to check up big time there. And getting back to the whole points thing, this is really big to note here. So Brock is right up here in 9th place, so he's looking really good.
Oh, look at Flickinger trying to use the high line. Look at this here.
Oh, and he just shoved Alexander Rowe out of the way to make that middle groove.
That's a bold move by the 78. Not many people we've seen try to do that attempt. Put a little bound for the lead like that. He's really trying to make it work, though.
And he's there. He's on the outside of Curtis in the 3 and 4, the corner where the top line prevails. There it is. It runs kind of there. Is he going to get it?
That's a smart move by Flickinger, and he's going to take the lead.
Does he have it at the start-finish line? Yes, he does. Rack up a lap lead for the 78.
Wow, that was a bold move by Flickinger. He seen what was going on. He said, I'm going for it now. And he takes the lead from DJ Curtis. I don't think Curtis saw that coming.
Okay, where is the 47 of TJ Hanley? He is in 19th. In comparison to Hagan, that is enough positions to pass him in the points. The same goes for Charles Jackson. William Brock would also have enough points to pass both drivers. So right now, Hagan, Jackson, we can confirm out. Hanley and Brock, we can confirm in. Osborne sits 18th. Now he is 13 points out, so I think he's passed Jackson in the points, but I cannot confirm for Hagan.
Yeah.
And Osborne also led a lap earlier in the race, so that also helped him out.
Well, we're about ready to hit 10 laps to go right now, and I'll tell you what, I don't know who's feeling more the pressure, the leaders here, the 78 and the 17, or that battle between the last two spots there, heading to the line there. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty.
And how about this? We missed this. Alexander Rowe took the race lead, and rookie Matthew McIntyre is up here in 2nd.
Yeah, he just flew right by the 70. I forgot those two were on the lead lap, and they just flew right by the 78.
And that's a rare thing. I just saw McIntyre get a run off of 2, and he passed Alexander Rowe for the lead. Rowe, who missed the chase. He wasn't top 30 in the points with his win from Provo, Utah. Trying to get another win on the season, but Matthew McIntyre, who was one of the most consistent rookies in the beginning of the season, faltered off, and now he's looking to get what could be his first career victory with 9 to go.
And the 18 just rolled into 3rd from the 78 and the 17, so we got some competition. Now 3 wide nearly for the lead.
And Goldberg won a race back last year at Bristol, and he is the Truck Series champion, the Truck Series which currently is not running here in 2018. So it would be good to prove to Joe Gibbs that Goldberg can go out and win again in a Gibbs car, as he's 3 wide there with Jackson in the middle, Rowe up top.
I don't like where the 95's at. He really used that inside line. That really kind of hurt his car. Also notice too, the 5, he's on the tail end of the lead lap. He's just running away from the entire pack. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's really going to matter, but I mean,
well, we gotta remember, and I'm sorry to talk over you, but remember all the guys in front that are on the tail end, they stayed out. They had already pit. So Zoerlein's got the fresh rubber out of all of those guys. So yeah, he's gone. If they had a caution, he would be at the back of the field. Now I wanted to point out that Austin Alves is still running at the back in 23rd. So Alves isn't making up 25 points. There's no way. So it still goes right now. I believe we've got Hanley and Brock in. Definitely Deanna Jones is 30th. If Osborne can continue gaining spots, I believe Osborne passes Deanna Jones. So right now, I believe Jones, Jackson, and Hagan are out with Hanley, Brock, and Osborne in. I am not 100% on Osborne, but Hanley and Brock, I believe, are definitely in. So what a good caution just shook up the whole playoff system here at Auto Club.
Yeah, it didn't mess up the entire race. It messed up the entire system for a fact. And we're coming into 6 laps to go right now. And I'm putting money down. If it wasn't the leader right now, I'm looking at Zach Flickinger. He showed the outside can work. on the times that are right, watch out for that 78 if he gets a good run.
Oh, I don't
heading
know.
up to
This
those
was a
leaders.
bad idea for McIntyre to go to the top side of Parker. That's going to let Rowe close up corner entry. Goldberg's back here trying to get by lap down car James Qualls, and Rowe's going to make it 3 wide.
That's a risky move right there.
Parker fell back in line, letting the 95 by. And Parker's not going to let Rowe by at all, so that'll let McIntyre hold the lead. But as you said, Flickinger's still in 4th. Quentin Moore, another driver. Quentin's currently 5th. Moore won all the way back at Martinsville and also missed the chase due to being outside the top 30. So we have Brock here in 6th, Amato 7th, Curtis 8th, Shelley 9th, Shearer 10th, Fitzwater 11th, your winner from last season. However, this time, not everybody on the lead lap is on a different lap counter of tires. Everyone who pit under the caution has the same tire wear. As McIntyre trying to pass Dillon Young on the inside. 5 to go here at Auto Club. And someone just went down pit road.
Uh-oh.
Who was that?
I thought we were good. I don't know. We got to check it out. We may as well.
Peter Sands.
Oh, it's Sands.
Tony Green's at the way back. Oh, Green, I think, was the only car that survived the caution.
Yeah, pretty much. He's the only car that's got damage that's all the way in the rear of the field.
And this happened last season too, Dylan. I mean, not last season. In the beginning of in the spring race here too, we saw cars come down to pit at the end of the race. So,
for a second, I thought they were.
I would have thought these guys could all make it.
Maybe not. Who knows?
I think Charles Sanford just tucked down pit road. I believe that was the 03 car.
Oh my God, 3 to go.
Double check. Yes, it was indeed.
Yep. You just seen the 12 exit pit road right there. No problem for the leader.
And McIntyre just put Deanna Jones a lap down. Now, Jones' race was going so good. She was getting the rebound she needed this round. And the caution came out. And for someone who did so well in the regular season, who was retiring, trying to come out at the end of her career with a championship, that dream is gone. Coming here to 3 to go. A caution would not change the outcome. Deanna Jones is going to be eliminated.
Oh, we got more cars coming down pit road. I seen like 3 or 4 cars come down. I don't know who it was. I think I seen one of them was a black car. I couldn't tell.
And I saw it too. Nate Rogers, Cole Deaver just pit from 20th place.
Or not that's Philip Goldberg, the 18 car.
Goldberg was running in the top 5. Tony Green pit too. What is going on? I could have sworn these drivers could have made it. And these are probably the cars who were leading the group. They're all staying out.
McIntyre's going to stay out. He's going to risk it, though.
Everyone else is staying out. We're going to go to McIntyre. McIntyre's got a 1-second lead over Alex in the row. Make it a 2nd and 3/10. I think it's locked up.
I would conserve if I were the 95. I would conserve. Make sure I wouldn't use it up, especially the fact if you deal with a problem, you're coming down pit road. Oh my God,
Look at that move.
I guarantee you too, if that 95 comes down, those eyes are going to be 41.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
He tested
Coming off of turn 4, Matthew McIntyre will get his first career victory here at Auto Club.
What a wild race. What a wild race there. That was unbelievable. The pit stop strategy really came into factor for the 95. They took advantage, and they're going to end up winning the race there. Great job for that 95 team.
Zach Flickinger came home 2nd place there, just barely over Alexander Rowe. Kind of a photo finish for 2nd. We had the photo finish for 1st earlier in the season. Rowe finishes 3rd. Brock gets 4th after starting last. How about that? Amato 5th, another good finish for the 24 team. Moore 6th. Shelley 7th. Curtis 8th. Shearer 9th. And Fitzwater, your winner from the spring, will round out the top 10. We'll go over the rest of the chase drivers. Seth Cole, 11th. Osborne, 12th. Hanley, 14th. Alf, 17th. Zoerlein, 19th. Hagan, 20th. They gained some spots with those guys who pit there later at the end. Yepes, 21st. Gray, 23rd. Jones, 24th. Gardner 28th, Jackson 30th, Deaver 35th. That late pit stop might have really cost Deaver there, and Rich will finish 39th. However, that is all from here at Auto Club. We will let you guys know in the at the end here that when you see the point standings, you will see the point standings after the conclusion of this race, and then you will see them re-racked for the start of round 2 as we head to Richmond for 140 laps of action to start out the second round of the chase. So that is all from me here at Auto Club. Dillon, got anything to say here?
Well, this was a lot of fun there. That was quite an unbelievable race there. Congrats to McIntyre earning the victory, but we already know a couple drivers that got eliminated. We'll know our actual 4 that get eliminated at the end of the video, so that's going to be interesting to see what's going to come into fruition there.
All right, so I'm glad. Thanks again, Dillon. Dillon actually broadcasted an entire race with me for once. I'm so pleased for
miracle.
That. In the past, I believe last year in 2017, I think we tried doing 2 races and Dillon had to leave halfway through both of those. So I'm finally glad here. I believe after two and a half years of trying, we've gotten a whole race done here with Dillon. So
it's a miracle. It is a miracle. We did it.
But I will see you guys next time for Richmond, and maybe Dillon will come back later in the chase. We'll find out when it comes to that. But signing off, this has been a Bulldog Speed Race. Check out Dillon's channel, X8675309 something X, president of the NRSL.
Damn it, you almost had it. How comes the theme park guy gets it right, but you can't? You've known me for years. That's sad.